It's not easy to be seduced by a child's words. On the other hand, the battle between Fire and Black Ken is being dramatic. If you fight for a while, Black Ken will lose because he runs out of magic power. That's why he created a tornado of fire. Super big giant. To beat Frieren. This tornado is so big that it's touching the boundary surface. Sen's fear that the boundary will be affected. But Gino thinks this is the barrier created by the magician of the Great Series. So just use the power. It's not enough to destroy it. Sen's reported that last night there was a magician who tried to break the barrier. But it didn't work. Back to the battle. The fire tornado attack just couldn't do it. For Frieren, it's because you've created a defensive layer. Canal Temple immediately made dozens of light arrows attack Frieren, but it didn't work. On the contrary, the canal is still open. Take that opportunity. Frieren knocked out. Defeat the royal magician to the channel. Frieren, I want to go to the channel and reveal Laufen's location immediately. But you are ready. So Frieren, he threatened if Laufen didn't deliver steel. I'll take you back to the channel with you. The channel advised fans not to use Jinhua anymore, because Frieren has solved this magic. I think this grandfather is very talkative, so Frieren's going to use an end-of-life magic to the canal. That's how you can catch it. The fan tried to run out to save him. The fan is a stupid little girl. Because there was absolutely no killing on Frieren. To the channel is a royal magician. They have enough money and power. But lower fans still wonder why he aimed to this first-rate magician position. Home Black Channel in North. This place is being run by a very powerful demon. Only first-rate magicians can set foot there. This is the only reason. Let Black Channel become a first-class magician. Although tied up, but Denkin believes his team will win. Because Rick Tay, when he realized he'd lost, it's very likely that he'll hit 2 kids. On the mountain, Ritter noticed that the channel had lost. So he sold a supercar to 2 girls. Shaman. Frieren doesn't think so. You're sure that the 2 kids are the ones who win? He can be a magician who controls water to fight. So Small will be very strong in the water environment. And there's a lot of rain outside. So Frieren decided to destroy the barrier protecting the exam. Outside, Gino realizes that someone is about to destroy the barrier. But he still believes one AI can break the boundary. Created by Siri. After that, Frieren performed magic. In a moment, the entire boundary around the competition has crumbled. That's what surprised Gino. And immediately asked the Lotus who the previous contestant was. According to Censor's list, this person is Frieren, legendary wizard of the warrior party. This helps Gino realize in this world. In addition to the series, there is another great magician. Siri is also very happy for Friday gifts. Give it to me. After 1,000 years of not seeing, to the channel was surprised by Frieren. We can break the barrier again. For a child. Because she feels so poor. For Frieren, magic is freedom. Can anyone imagine that? I'm going to win a magician. Water use under the rain. Or not. Rick noticed the sky. It was raining, so he decided to finish the match quickly. La White immediately creates a block of ice to hold him. There's a water ball in the sky right now. Super big giant. It can just be created. And then La White. I also understand why Rick. I dare not fight with Can. In the water environment. Because of the magic of Can. Has more mass than Rick Tay. Where to dig with a giant ball like this? It's running. That's why Rick Tay hates water. The attack can blow Rick to the spot. The two of you went to the canal tied up. After the battle, both White and Can are exhausted from running out of magic power. So far, both the Channel and Little, they're running out of magic. So the Bastille is close. It's like impossible to firmly come up with a solution. Finally, we're looking for a fight trail of other wizards. Maybe you can smell a skill. And then the team found out that another team caught it. Steel. He was eliminated because there were 2 members. Rick's going to go out and negotiate with both of you. But be sure that you are them. You don't give either. However, the game name was, give me a plan to steal this skill. The Knight on the Fan Mop. If you see a loophole, steal and run. And you and Rick go out in front of the Kia group. Create a cool pose like Superman. And then they're punching each other like boxers. Thanks to that black, the new channel can smell a skill. This last, and go inside. Back to Team 4. The group is now hiding in a cave. Fern is a very boring person. I only know how to use basic magic in combat. I know why, because Fern is Frieren's student. Ubio Wonder, don't know, do you know any more magic? The shit says, I know how to see through clothes. This causes Ubio to hide in a corner. In the second round, maybe the whole thing. The enemy. Ubio still advises 4 Eyes to open up to her little. The number 1 exam is over. And a total of 6 teams passed. The Fern went to the exam these days. So Stark was very happy. When you're home alone. He. Episode 22. Fern wasn't with him, so Stark stayed up all night. And slept until the next afternoon without waking up. Fern came back from the exam. And she immediately found out that Stark had slept past noon. Stark stayed up all night and drank the fruit juice. In the evening again. Fern's anger has now reached its peak. So no matter what, Frieren, they are also infected according to. So Frieren, I decided to take the dung to eat at a delicious restaurant. 85 years ago, a group of brave men also visited this bar, although it seems a bit expensive. Rick Tay is the owner of a repair shop in the city. Magic off art. Rick Tay just helped the old lady. She repaired a lamp and sent 6 lollies. He was a good uncle. Sow excuse in the contest. There are such cruel thoughts. Right now, on the channel and low fans happen to pass by Rick Tay's. Rick should not take you to the channel. Because the day before, there's a crazy old man asking him to punch each other. With 2 wizards, it's hurting everyone. I know that's why Denken came here to ask Rex out to dinner. Denken is looking for a special restaurant. You and Lo Fan. They don't know the way. I came here to ask Rex for help. Rick decided not to help Ken. Because we're no longer on the same team for 3 hours. So Ken told me, I want to enjoy the taste of this place again. Because Ken's wife and he used to come here to eat. Thanks to Rick, I changed my mind about going out to dinner with my 2 grandkids. I don't know when to wipe the fan. He became the grandson of the channel. And he bought it for a basket of buns. At the same time, 4 Eyes are wandering around the town. Then I met the little Yubel again. They both decided to go together, to have a little chat. 4 Eyes wondered, do not know Yubel. How does it feel to kill? I guess when I fought Geibel and Yubel, I had a chance to beat him, but I didn't. Gubel found it a little hard to explain, but small given that. Maybe I sympathize with Gubel. She also wanted a moment of hesitation like Gubel before doing something. Then, Yubel used Geibel's motion lock magic. to tie up four eyes. From the past to the present, if Geibel feels empathy for anyone, you can use that person's magic. The feeling is not usable. Four Eyes notice Yubel is a shaman who loses his brain and use sensory-based magic. So I hate girls like that. Belle wants to know more about the Four Eyes, so you can sympathize with me. But for a long time, Four Eyes. Not to mention my four-eyed dad is wandering this street. I don't know if that's his true self. Back to the channel name. Rick Tay led the group to the best restaurant in town. This is a bar 55 years ago. The channel's name and wife used to eat at this place. Just walked into the bar, then we'll meet Frieren's troublesome party again. The whole team is having fun, so be patient. Decided not to bother them. Frieren, call me a plate of super big steak. Starks is something strange that I don't know about. And a fern. As usual, they're delicious pastries. Sometimes, Frieren eats super big stuff like this. I remember 85 years ago. Brave team helped the chef of the restaurant get back the heirloom kitchen knife. So everyone was invited to a hearty meal. Frieren also ordered a plate of steak. Super cute like this. You have to eat well, because the taste can change later. The chef assured me that even if there were 100, 200 years later, the taste will never change. Himmer wants the chef to pass these dishes on to the future, and this is the reward you asked for. It turned out that he had guessed. In the future, Frieren will come here. I want this restaurant. It still has the flavor you love. Back to the present. Frieren eat a piece of beef. You feel that the taste is still changing. It's true that perfumes change, but change in a way that's getting better and better. You won't have to find another restaurant from now on. The food here made Chofern and Stark cry. At another table should be persistent to wipe the fan. You should eat a lot of vegetables. Make Rick talk to both of you. Yubio has also chiseled follow Four Eyes to this restaurant. After the meal, the feces were happy, and Frieren flew clean. Black Devil. The next morning start getting up early to meditate. Randy, I'm calling you back. It's not Friday's time to go shopping. And she fell asleep again. In fact, every time. It seems like Phoenix's anger. It's accumulating and exploding. Friday begged Stark to comfort him. You don't know how easy it is to spray. He said he only wants food now. Even though there's no black money. But Stark still has to go shopping. To get less angry. Wee Belle and Squirrel, I'm looking for a warrior in town. But it seems a little difficult. I can go out with La White today. La White dress very cute. Because you guys bought it from the new capital. Give her a lot of good clothes. That's what these clothes are. It was so tight that White didn't feel comfortable. Can suddenly kneel down to play. A prince asked La White out. That's why it's called White. Riding on top of her neck. At the bakery, Stark took Fern to buy cake. I asked what kind of cake. Let you buy it. That the dung says every cake is made. The emperor doesn't know how. Women are so much trouble. White and Can suddenly appeared at the bakery. Thanks to that, the master could have chosen to give the Fern a cake of his choice. I can tell Stark that Frieren helped both of us a lot. She's like a teacher. It's because you two are fighting all the time. As soon as they finished, the two girls started talking again. Go with 4 girls like this. It makes the staff feel embarrassed. Right now, Goodwill and Shark don't know where they came from. Go to check the stack. Belle is on a reward mission to catch the monsters that destroy the crops. We need to find a pioneer. By chance, Belle's GUI found a stack that seemed to meet the standard. I asked if I could borrow a bit. Who suspects consent always makes Stark extremely dissatisfied. In the hotel room, La White and can give to Frieren a basket of pastries as a gift thank you. I helped both of you get through the first round. This makes Frieren remember. Before opening, I always went to help others. It's very confusing for Frieren. Hima said you're doing this for yourself. It's being remembered by others. To be remembered by others. Change their lives. Even a little. The shit just ran out. White said something about Friday. It's hard to wake up in the morning. At this time, the Magic Council. I also wrote a letter about the rules of the second exam. Come here. The judge for test 2 will be Sense. As far as La White knows, the last 4 exams. The judge is Sense, and the number of people who pass is 0. The other contestants, they also get time in turn. The second test is the same as Friday. On the other side, it's fun. Pigs are happily enjoying monster meat. Delicious grilled. Episode 23. The next day, the 18 second round finalists were present at the venue. I am a first-class magician. He's also a judge for exam number 2. Small talk is always sure. A lot of people know about the rumors. However, with small, to earn the title of first-rate magician, overcoming difficulties is obvious. I'll explain the rules later. Test 2 for all participants to listen to. The only requirement to pass the second exam is the contestants will go to the deepest place, the tomb of the King of Ruins. I am very disappointed with the exam this time, because this is a dungeon that's taken a lot of risks. Fake rice box. So it's going to be very dangerous. Sense, that to be a first-rate magician, you have to make the impossible possible. Maybe. In this exam, Sense will also go to the dungeon with everyone. However, she will not support any of the contestants. Sense does that because you don't know where the deepest part is. In the dungeon. Before going to the dungeon, Sense has played to all the contestants here. An item called Golem defected. If the students feel dangerous, or feel like you can't complete the exam, don't hesitate to use it. Then a golem will appear and take you out. However, the user, they will also be missed. Sense has been absolutely safe. For all the wizards. Because you don't want to lose people of the future. The exam will now officially begin. Before going to the dungeon, in addition to the wizards who have known each other before, like Frieren's group, the old squads in the first round, have also come together as a group of Denken. Or group of... According to the knowledge of Black Channel, this dungeon was discovered since the reign of the... It has a lot of different entrances, but it all leads to the deepest part of the dungeon. So the channel hopes that people can divide into groups to discover more structure of the tomb. There is a young man who thinks the second test doesn't require a teammate to survive, so he'll go alone. Weibel and some other groups, they don't work with Black Channels and exploring dungeons. See that? So the channel claims that these new age wizards, they're all idiots. Friday and Fern also form a group. Sense decided to go to Theo Friday because she believed both will be the ones who go to the deepest part of the dungeon. The safest way into the dungeon. Frieren's group go and redraw the map of the dungeon. You didn't even forget the Fern. And Sense remembers to pay attention under the floor, because maybe it's a trap. Talk about exploring the dungeon here. No one has knowledge Experience and experience like a friar. Frieren didn't like going to the dungeon before. Himmer. He's a guy who loves to explore dungeons. That's why the whole team of warriors. I've been in the cellars all day. Prison shit. To punish the monster. With Himmer. To discover the dungeon, you have to go everywhere. In the dungeon. Enjoy a pleasant trip. Roll over, fight monsters and find the treasure. With Homer, that's the taste of an adventurer. Frieren seemed boring, so Homer has suggested the next destination. There's a new rarity book that gets her excited. Back to the contest. Can and La White, they also formed a group and went into the dungeon. Outside right now, only the group of Black. Ken along with 2 wizards abandoned by young men who like solo. There were 7 hopes because he thought the wizards were powerful. You'll notice this simple thing here. Rictate review wizards here. It's not as stupid as the channel thinks. At least, then no fool would be so stupid as to be trapped by SA. As simple as Mimic. In the end, Black channel together with 2 guys left to form a group of 5 people into the dungeon. Back to Frieren. She's standing in front of a pigeon right now. Master's advice is not to open it because it is proportional. Mimic up to 99% muscle that Frieren doesn't think so. She thinks there are great wizards discovering. Only the remaining 1% can change history. With Frieren's experience, I guess this ocean, there's definitely a precious magic book. And then a few seconds later, the fern had to work very hard to pull the friar. Get out of bed. Sense is thinking, do I trust the right people? Towards the group of the channel name. He went and analyzed the pitfalls. Maybe in the dungeon. Listen to the other 4. Before the group moves to the next floor, the group is suddenly surrounded by 2 stone demons. The 5 people here are all the talented wizards, so they easily sold salt to the stone demons. However, there is a girl who is not lucky and fall into a prickly trap. Canal Temple tried to cast magic to destroy this trap, but it doesn't seem to be working. That's why the girl had to use the vase. Immediately a giant golem come out and take her out. He was also the first contestant to be eliminated. Frieren and Fern are struggling with the mimic, but it won't let Frieren out. SO should. She said spray. Try to push yourself inside. That way the mimic will choke and spit her out. That's how Frieren got out. But only suffering for Fuwong. I have to help her dry her hair. The group continued into the dungeon. Frieren discovered a lot of precious gems here. That she was still fooled by the simple duo my mix. Link 1. Frieren has collected 10 rows of 8 pieces of magic shit. I'm used to the 7-fold personality of yours. Sense is very difficult to understand. He explained about the master's hobby. But what makes sense? It's hard to understand the muscle itself. Sense has never seen a wizard before. At the age of Fern, that's so strong. But the fern doesn't always shine. A little bit of enthusiasm, or acceptance. I became a magician in return for my hatred. So you're just trying to be strong. Maybe the passion or the responsibility of the feces. They all fall in love with hate. For the first time, Theo Frieren went to a dungeon. The shit that Frieren. 10 makes you happy. That smile also makes poop fun. That's when fans started to like the silhouette. Collect 10 objects by Frieren. Come with me to pursue magic. Through fan stories. Sense, I feel that following 2 gifts is the right choice. Geibel's team is currently leading in the competition. They're getting closer to the deepest place. At this moment are suddenly tied up. By lock magic, Geibel's movements made it very difficult for him to understand. It's about to create a wall, with feathers to block attacks. From BO Mysteries. These 3 people are the Sao of the Wibu group. What the hell is this dungeon? So far no AI has been able to complete it. Funny parrots divide people to deal with BA Shadow. Somewhere else, 4 people group, so the channel is having a clash with Laofan Xiao. With the command of the Black Knight. Very quickly, everyone beat Laofan Ball. Not expected. This magic Sao has the power and technique. Fighting almost equivalent to Laofan. If you go alone, it will be difficult to deal with. Fortunately, people can tell where the shadow is. Where is the team? So Ken felt it was right that the group got together. From which Ra's work can be divided to deal with the ball droppings. Group of Denken was the first, go to the deepest part of the dungeon. And what's waiting for them is inside. Is Frieren's shadow dung. To be honest, this is not a contest. You broke the bottle a long time ago. The 24 owners of the dungeon are monster speakers. A kind of legendary monster from ancient times. It's capable of entering the memories of adventurers. And then reflect off a powerful Sao. Equivalent to them. There are many such monsters nowadays. Like what the speaker makes is a perfect Xiao. So until now, no one can conquer this dungeon. Sens choose the second one here, so that people need analysis and collaboration. I really mean it. This is the test that a peaceful shaman would choose. Back to the deepest part of the dungeon. Frieren Sao. Too strong for 4 people. The channel has to be temporarily removed. Somewhere else, Yubel and 4 Eyes got lost. Right now, there is a serious injury in 4 Eyes. It seems that the Sao of Yubel itself, who caused this injury to 4 Eyes. More, it even has your golem jar. Make the situation more difficult. 4 Eyes see Yubel. It's like talking a lot when you're fighting. But Yubel's Sao says absolutely nothing. Yubio thinks it probably can't copy personality. But the 4 Eyes say it basically can't be said. Because when you attack me, Sao Yubel decided to take the bottle, golem, of 4 Eyes just like the personality of the child. Even though we're both in a dead end. That the Sao Yubel version is still 0T work. Because it's guarding against motion lock magic of Yubel. This proves that it owns both the personality and the memory of the child. The 4 Eyes are getting worse. So Yubel took the initiative to hand over the golem. The 4 Eyes refused to accept it. I wonder who is sitting here right now. Is the true nature of the 4 Eyes, or would you say? Guess what? So Yubel has 4 Eyes. Stay here. And you, Laura, fight your Sao. To reclaim the golem for 4 Eyes. The Sao version of Yubel is identical to Yubel. So the 2 of them fought equally well. That is the battle. If you make a little mistake, you will lose. Almost are. Decided by luck. Yubel is not very lucky about this. Just as Yubel thought. In a moment of vulnerability, she was tied up by her Sao. Just as the Sao was about to end Yubel, 4 Eyes suddenly appear in the background and destroy the Sao. The vase that Sao took out all 4 Eyes is also fake. In fact, 4 Eyes refuse to accept Yubel's bottle. Then you've discovered that these 4 Eyes are just a clade. So, Yubio plugged in the head of Ari Solo with the Sao so that 4 Eyes can respond. 4 Eyes want to know at Sao Yubio believe you will come to the rescue. I guess the 4 Eyes don't want an AI to die for them. from which Yubel created the situation at 4 eyes. You can fly color. Let's have 4 real eyes come to the rescue. Yubio thanks 4 eyes, because I could understand you a little more. It takes some time to empathize. On the other side, Frieren accidentally discovered that there was a room behind a wall. Based on years of experience exploring the dungeon, Frieren found the secret agency and started it. The walls are slowly moving, creating a secret passage to a room. In this room, keep a picture of your accomplishments. The kings are buried. This is the first time Sen saw such an ancient picture intact. It looks so white. Then all 3 of them left the room. Done. I think this exploration of the dungeon is better. You thought, maybe you can pass the exam like this. The whole group arrived at the door of the room after the dungeon, and we've got 4 guys named Ken here. Friday, look at what's inside. I found out that Sousou was watching. It's in there. This makes Frieren very excited, because that's what it is. Discover the dungeon to defeat an exceptional magician. Like Frieren, Ricte thought that he could use control or mental form. But Frieren, I've had resistance to both of these for a long time. Ken can take advantage of this magic. Create a loophole for Frieren to defeat. There is a dream girl here. I'm a master at using 2. The magic on. Dreaming of hugging Frieren's body to use control. But it doesn't seem to be working. Then I dreamt of looking into Frieren's eyes to control her spirit. But also useless. I dream of hugging my master a little too much. So Fern tried to win back Frieren. Dreaming of noticing Frieren. It's resistant to these 2 types of magic, but its defensive structure seems old. We need an expert in spiritual magic. Can be exploited. Weakness. There's a second-rate magician here, Ed. He's also a spiritual expert. But your fighting power is almost. There is no. I don't know if I can get here or not. More. I can't believe it's Frieren Sousou. Mentally or not. People are missing so much information right now. On the other side, Ed's group. Right now, I'm dealing with a first-rate magician Xiao. Sense. So all BA had to hide their magic and hide. I think you should fight. But Ed stopped it. Because the magic of BA, it's all modern magic. As aimed, control the object. It's not nearly as effective in fighting in dungeons in the age of the Demon King. Whole group Edda. It's almost like a magician with no fighting power. To be honest, I was lucky to be here. ED has a pretty strong mental control. But with a creature like the Sao Kia, you don't know if it works or not. Even so, I have to touch my eyes and speak directly to the Sao. It's possible to exercise mental control. I think this is worth a try. In order to perform magic, Ed needs 15 seconds. Right now, the Sao of Sens. Find out where all BA is hiding. Should have attacked. Edward requested, you 2 should focus on building a defense. Fight with modern magic. There's 2 ways to break this defense. 1 is to use an overwhelming amount of material, and 2 is to use technology to get through. I can't believe Sao Sense uses both techniques to break the defensive bias of the Edda group. I thought the shield would last 15 seconds. Like this with Ed. You can use magic. ED ordered the Sao to kneel. But it doesn't have the opposite effect. They even hurt you. Eddie recognized this from here. There is no spirit, it's just mimicking mental activity. Eddie is now injured, so fighting the Sao of Sense. It's almost impossible. That's why she decided to use the gum jar. Before leaving, she told the other 2 members to try to survive and inform the members of the group above. In front of the deepest room in the dungeon, Frieren's group. She's working on a plan to beat her Sao. Laguai and Kan are still moving in a group. Yubel into 4 eyes is also quite convenient. Young people like to go alone. Now get lost. Back to Geibel's group. At this time, the name of the Sour. It's the same defensive shield. Geibel's group. It makes me feel like It's complicated. If this is a regular magic battle, then air with enormous amount of magic power will prove to overwhelm both Geibel and Wax. However, in this situation, Geibel is the best. He tore down the ceiling, let the rocks fall and crush the Sao. Back to the Frieren group. She thinks that by default the Sao has no spirit. You just need to use your power to fight. Suddenly thinking about how to beat Frieren. Episode 25. The team is building a strategy. The poor brother-in-law runs off with a wound on his shoulder. My brother told me the whole story about the fight with Sao of Judge Sen's. I asked you to stay in the way, so you can run here and meet people. You are poor. Will provide information about the Xiao to everyone, in exchange for dreaming. It will also help you heal the wound on your shoulder. After you are done, my brother-in-law relayed Edge's words to everyone. You have no spirit. It's just mimicking the workings of the mind. That's it. There's no way to grab the dress to beat Frieren Sao. We can only build on that. Ricte wonder not know the weakness. Where are these copies? If the Sao is as powerful as Frieren, if you fight it, there will be casualties. The channel wants to know the source of where these SAOs come from. Sens knows it, but she doesn't say. At this moment the 2 girls shout white and can go to. Lol, white weather. The creator of these SAOs is a monster. The legend speaker. She knows a lot of information. Because you're too La White. I've been on this team exploring the dungeon. Rick's little reproach that. I have so much information. He refused to cooperate at first. It's because the air was too heavy for the group. Frieren at the time. It's also annoying to go first. Then La White. He even insulted Uncle Rick. White was a bit harsh, so she said, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Monster, the speaker is hiding behind the door of the museum. And Sao Frier has put a very strong seal on the door. When it comes to the speaker, the first thing is, beat the Sao Frier that was. Is key revealed. If you want to beat Frieren, do it fast. Because you guys Sao, the speaker creates over time. There's a tendency to concentrate in the deepest part of the dungeon. That's it. My little brother went exploring once. You should know a lot of useful information. The spirit of the Sao will mimic the essence. So the feces had an experiment with the master. Shit, tell Frieren to go to the front of the wall. Right when Frieren wasn't paying attention, the feces cast spells quickly to attack her. But it didn't work. Thurn's actions helped her. And Black Ken discovered a fatal weakness of Frieren. That's the disruption of magic. This is a common mistake of apprentice magicians. Frieren didn't say this because she was ashamed. She was reproached by Fan. And then we all talked about strategy. This makes Frieren very happy. 85 before the brave party led by him, M. He also fought a fight with a dragon. It's a giant or a drunk. So it doesn't help. This time too, the wizards excitedly discussed the two. And Lil White was fighting with each other as usual. After a discussion, Frieren and Fern will be the ones to fight Sal Frieren. Because if there's too much of it, it's very difficult to coordinate and can lead to casualties. The rest of the wizards will focus on preventing other SAOs from advancing. About this place, two Frieren girls walk into the treasury. Whatever Friday does, the Sao imitates. Just like that. However, the Sao are still wary of the Phoenix hiding lately. But with a peer competitor like Frieren, the Sao will be difficult to find. Back a few minutes ago, Frieren, I told the shit to use the Sao to interrupt the magic power. To attack muscles that attack magic must. It's the devil's piercing magic. Remember when Fern was completely hidden? That even a veteran magician like Frieren didn't realize. Go back 1,000 years. Frieren, I went alone to the series to deliver the letter on Master's behalf. 55 has passed, so the series guess maybe Flam is no longer. The content of the letter is like a report. In the past, magic was considered the technique of the devil, so it's taboo for humans to study it. Flam has had an impact into this, and participated in the training of royal shamans. Flam is no more, so she wants the series to take over. According to the series, humans have been studying magic. It's been a huge achievement. If this process is growing, in just a few more 15, all 6 will be covered in magic. And in the not too distant future humans, there will be strength to resist. Demon King Siri did not accept this letter. Because according to the series, magic is something special, and she won't teach it to the untalented. Frieren was not surprised by this. Because when I delivered the letter to Cho Frieren, Flam said, Siri will get angry and break the letter. Flam wants to move on to the series. It's a dream come true. It's true that Frieren also finds it difficult to understand. Frieren is about to leave. Siri held her back for a moment. Flam's biggest dream. It's a time when everyone can use magic. Things like serving humanity or against humanity. The Demon King probably doesn't care. Flam's favorite magic is magic. Creating a flower field. But for the series, it's a kind of magic crap. Useless. To be honest, when I was a kid, Flam held Siri's hand and talked about the times that everyone can use magic. At that time, Siri thought that dream was pretty far-fetched for a kid. The short life of Flam. Like it never existed, but it's the foundation of human magic. Friday is like Siri's because sometimes she feels Flam. They are often in a hurry to get the job done. It makes sense, because human life is too short. Human, sometimes you have to make a big decision early. And with Frieren, the series is 100 to 200 years too early. Even for 1,000 years. To build a civilization, it took humans thousands of years. Siri predicts that about 1,000 years from now, people will come and both will be overtaken by people. Siri told Frieren not to stop training. If there's an AI that can make Frieren fly, it can only be a demon king or a human magician. Just as the series predicted. 1,000 years later, his own army was the one who destroyed the Open Demon King. An era of peace for mankind. Frieren is also looking forward to a future that people can use all kinds of magic that Master Flam has worked so hard to build. Episode 26. Back to the contest. Frieren created a giant stone man to fight my Sao. When Frieren's Sao wasn't focused, stools suddenly appeared behind the attack. but was blocked by the Sow. Outside. The magic of dreaming. Determine the exact location of the Sow. So people divided up their actions. Rick Tay together with Little La White to form a team. Right now in front of both of you is Laguna's Sow. And you can both coordinate the attack. My brother-in-law fights Rick's Sow. And she wipes fans to fight with the Sow of dreams uttered. But a few minutes ago, something happened. It's a dream that can't be felt at all. The Sow copies of Rick blamed the sense. Because of you, the exam is more difficult. But sense says that first-rate magicians, we must overcome all adversity. That was challenging. It's not even called adversity. Back to the present. Rick Tay and La White have completed their mission. But the Sow of sense. Suddenly they hit both seriously. Rick Tay advised La White, I should use the golem jar because be a years later, you can take the exam again. Black Ken also realized you were in danger. I went to the aid, but it was too late. The Sow of sense is very powerful. Black Umbrella, even if Ken arrives in time, he will not be able to win. Right now Four Eyes and Yubio passing by. Yubio advised Ken not to be foolish. That fights the Sow of sense. Little crazy question, watch the beat of Salakia. It is necessary to conquer the dungeon. Or not. If so, Yubio will defeat it for you. Four Eye tips Yubel should not take risks. The strongest person here is Denkin can't even beat sense. More, the level of Yubel is much lower than Geibel. There think. Yubio also admitted that he was a kid. That's a very immature third-rate magician. In this case, small can beat sense. The magic of Sow sense. Mainly use the hairs to flexibly attack, as well as defense, and the magic of Yubel's forte. You can cut everything. Anything small that can be cut is sure to be cut. In a battle with Geibel, I also use this magic. To the fighter that the defense layer. It can't be cut. According to Ubel, her magic is used to overcome sense. However, the Four Eyes advised her not to fight, because Kia's hair was covered in a layer of defense. Yubio given that. It doesn't matter, because this magic relies more on imagination. Yubel stepped out to fight the CO of Sens. This time the judge sends. I also feel that Yubel is the rival of Sao Sens. And without a fight, she knew Yubel was the winner. Sens knows this, because in the second class shaman exam 2 years ago, the judge of exam number 2 is a first-class magician with supposedly defensive powers. The most powerful of all wizards. Since I was a first-class magician, he's never been hurt at all. The gown that picture is wearing, it's a lot of defensive stuff. It makes it inviolable with every attack. To pass this exam, contestants must attack. If he takes a step back, exam beans. The skid rule is, when a contestant kills, a magician needs to be in control. My strength. Avoid hurting others. Yubio is also a magician taking exams. And at that time, 01A I was worried about Korn. And because of that, Yubel was eliminated for sending off a colored flying judge. Before leaving the contest, Sense asked Yubel about her magic. Yubio said that, as a child, I was born into a family. May go. A born rich as Sense. You probably don't know this. As a child, Yubel watched her sew. And the sound of fabric cutting creaking make the child feel very excited. Sense still don't understand what she's saying. Yubel said, Ra is my magic. You can cut everything. You think you can cut it. This makes sense. I feel like this is a crazy girl. because any AI can think of cutting fabric. But it's not that simple in the magical world. There are things that people can imagine. But I'm not sure I did. It's like the ant defeating the dragon. For example, a magician, I can imagine cutting my shirt. Defensive gown, absolutely close, as if it doesn't exist. As long as you're a conscious being, thinking about it. It's almost impossible. Even though consciousness thinks, can't cut but Yubel, I can still listen to the feeling, and imagine that. Can cut the cloak of absolute defense. This is not the spiritual realm of a normal person. It's the ultimate realm. Right from this conversation, Sens couldn't imagine watching himself win Yubel. Back to the contest, Yubel has successfully defeated the CEO of Sens. In an easy way. On the side of Belle's rule, all three members are dreaming I love you. You also planned Frieren's whole plan. The group of Webble. At this moment I can feel the sow of Sens. Being taken down by Yubel gave her some peace of mind. To thank you for loving me. Happy to decide to join. To stop the sow copies. To be honest, I don't trust strangers either. It's not stupid to ride a winning horse. There are currently 2 copies. Other dangers need to be eliminated. It's the sow of Thuong and the Canal Temple. Dream uttered the position of the sow. Channel for Geibel's group. And the Sao version of the spray. Let you worry. My dream is not to go alone. Because you know the shit is strong. The dream tells people not to worry. Because you've been experimenting with magic on your own. Of dung. I dream of being a magician. So holding your feet is your fort. However, the SAOs were defeated. Will be quickly revived. Yubel's Sour has just been revived. With 4 eyes already in front of BA, people Yubel. 4 eyes and channel. And in the back there are 3 more. Can continue to clash with Rick K's Xiao. The fan is no different. Weebu's team also clashed with the Sao version of the channel. Back to the archive. The Battle of Frieren. And her Sao is very intense. However, Theses still can't destroy Frieren's Sao. So Frieren decided to risk a fan. It's that you'll create your own loophole. In this way the Sao. It also reveals a bigger gap. I'm afraid my teacher will get hurt. Frieren said it was the only way. Frieren is sure of that. Because I've always underestimated shit. Friday was suddenly revealed. Then focus all of your power to block the SAO's attack. When the Sao Frieren attacked Frieren with all his might. Then Fern concentrated his fire on the Sao A. It almost destroyed it. But right now, the feces have revealed a loophole, so the Sao counter-attacked her and injured her. Right now, Frieren appeared in time to completely destroy the Sao. Of my own. After the battle, the dung was so rusty. And this is the first time in 85 that I've been cornered. On the road like that. The last door opened. Frieren launches attack to destroy speaker. And that's how all the SAOs disappeared. Just miserable old brother fun. The pig continued to carry 2 dumbbells to the gathering place. In a room filled with gold and silver. Sens declared everyone standing here.
Teon Pasi 7 But Black and Wonder not know as fallen. Not standing again. He. Looking back, she was jump in theo sun. Mimico. He was on the water zone. Synonym CC to F Z exam number 2. Officially ended. Episode 27. Sitake Double to made Tết. Xin yêu gắt hi, yêu về mết an man. Dù nó thi ôn dày. Ít đề si hát to ẩn đa si tàn what yêu dễ xin. Phân kênh tỏ phải si tắc. Esi Sunasi Heso The PCC, si tắc nu ít. Engoji. Một hát anh phải quýt phô lần, sau một lết. Si tắc ai phát thế si tun tỏ phô cơ si on thể bà ít xăm. Isimo. TC tâm si bao dây ghi vấn giác phô lần về di x sẽ ship. Quân phạt tinh sau phô lần. Thế si bao dây si tắc osi đi si tổ giót. Ra đề si ít, phô lần. Hay tông mẹ to thờ dấu ít way ẩn vi anh ngụ one. Thế hệ tờ hiểm sẽ ghép ít to thề bù đư. Esi anh cháu. So ít esi về gì meaning phân. Một nô phô lần đi đồn ở tim mình để thỉnh bắt bắt ăn ở Sili. Giá xin để vừa thốt ấp. Thờ dấu quê TC xí tích. Even tàu ít esi bắn bắt lì đá mất. In thế si quê. Yêu càng cầm phất hai tờ. Because si phê thế sẽ cần ít xăm. TC EC ven tế bốt cắt phò lần. Cả riêng anh bắt ấp xăm thiên lại anh bắn ấp bút. In dịch tè xí sắp. Thế tu gầu dàn kít ở going to thể cần ăn ôn hi. It make you feel so uncomfortable. To comfort dịch tè in that situation. No one can guarantee their own safety. However, he see what message. More annoying. If you lose, there is nothing more to say. Not in anh git music. Keep opening anh sắp for block. It is hard to understand. For dịch tè, no matter how bad people are. You also have to get food. Exam TC tâm hè phê git because. Một si tin hấp thơ dĩ si tỏ gò, bắt yếm nát su. Waiting for thơ dĩ si. Dịch tè. It is hard, bắt thể chân nân ta sân tìa ghiu. Vì dịch tè. Gisia này giờ gần kít. Nát tờ phở lết tỏ ghét angle gì, Paul. Ân phở thế sẽ gặp bình uy linh tỏ tách ad phân tích ấp thể uýt. It is la lên anh bờ dịch. Chân nân em si tin cạn tí hết dịch tè. Because it is anh xa đâu ấp theo mà in ít. Hay positive tích giác thơ dĩ si phẩm đầu dịch tè. It one only get si tờ rồng mơ. Then come back. Lao fan, em sa dĩ yêu đi đơn ở tí sĩ bích về dị quên. Một quên to thể chắn nân to phai mini si. Ít đua si tăng to gò to thể chắn nân to thể si tô. Without buying anything, unused amazing with si sushi. On thể chắn nân, ít đua si for là nề si tân to bở lây. For là đề quên to thể home city. Một nấu dịch. Hay si thể only one who can fix it. No matter how bao giờ cần ít đi si. For là đề bờ rốt hút. Câu ra si on thể si tích gọc si bít đốt phủ dịch tề si. TC pan up DC what dịch cổ anh pan up chassis. Do một review tỏ tech TC gấp. For là đề đi xa đi dịch của đơn tỷ gió ít, so hề lết. TC, mét xa một ít anh Big Eagle lại dịch tề. Phi nâng comfortable, hù tông me một cút nề vừa gió ít. Eta anh GP. Dịch tề xa di for lần for calling TC City chassis. Ven GP dinh, một dì lát sát thẻ ấu nữa ấp thẻ chi hát thẻ cần kê ấp me. Give it hầu ghi đi DC. For là đề ấp me tỏ gió ít. Hay áp because thẻ bà ít samisi ở bot tỏ tích policy. On dày tỏ chỉ ấp. Si tắc túc hạ ốc tỏ ít enough ấp thẻ si tô dên si tắc.
I don't think Frieren knows anything about me, Stark. I don't know anything about you. So you've been assigned to a battle. Right now, they both happen to pass Rick's store. I immediately realized a fan is someone who goes with Frieren. Maybe a disciple. Rick Taylor lamented that exam number 2 had just finished. And you've been tortured by Frieren for a whole day. If at that time, it's probably cheaper to buy a new cane. Finally, Rick's advice is to respect it. Back to the room. And discovered that his staff had been repaired. Just like new. It reminds me of when I lived with hate. He remarked that Fern was a man lacking emotions and empathy, so it's easy to misunderstand. But it's also a good thing that Frieren will worry for Fern more. Whatever it is. To the underground bed, thank the great master. The next morning the contestants was present at the venue of the round number BA. The number of people who pass exam 2 is 12. An unprecedented number in history. so the series itself will come here to check it out. Series commends that exam idea. There's coordination between the contestants. It's kind of weird, because first-rate magicians these days, there's no coordination. However, in which there are those who have superior strength, carrying the weak through the exam. If you take the BA exam as every exam, then these wizards will have almost no chance of survival. A wand of peace like a lotus won't like this. Even the series, I don't want people to fly in vain. The series is all about Frieren. Sky Smurf system. So the series will replace the learner to take the number BA exam and will test peacefully. Lernen also agrees with this. He admitted that he was not qualified to judge Frieren. Just by looking at it, you know that Frieren is limiting its power. It's a huge source of magic, even compared to Siri. The four-eyed wizard next door doesn't think so because there's a limit to magic. There must also be a fluctuating force on you. Even if it hides this vibration, it also takes a long time. And I feel it's not necessary. Siri tells you 4 eyes. Frieren have spent a lifetime practicing this unnecessary technique. It's to defeat the demons, because demons are very sensitive to magic. To be honest, this technique could take hundreds of years, so it's very inefficient. I would rather spend that time with the series. Training can be even stronger. But that inefficiency helped Frieren defeat the demons this way. In the battle between the skilled mages, false assessment of the opponent's performance, they can also defeat themselves. In fact, Frieren is unfit for age. You can defeat the demons that way. As far as the series knows, only the devil can see it once. Can detect Frieren's technique immediately. That was, until a few minutes ago, Lauren saw it. Lauren said he just happened to look out. He was a very strong but humble man. Siri enters exam room number BA. Before you go, you're a mess. He's 55 years old as a first-rate magician, but still a cowardly shaman. Lernen's life is not much. He is also a talented magician. Maybe you don't have a chance to fight Frieren, even if you can win. Siri realized she shouldn't take human disciples. But what Siri, and most importantly, a talented person like Lernen couldn't even see the magic wobble inside you. The BA exam has not started yet. Frieren guessed the series. Certainly use intuition to judge. The first person to enter the exam room was Can. I couldn't say anything, but the series missed. The reason is that you can be scared of Siri's overwhelming power. You can't imagine why I became a first-class magician. Contestant next bride zinc slip. Wax slide, laugh and slide air slip note. Frieren's turn. Give Frieren a last chance. What is your favorite magic? Friday still answered the permission to create a flower field. And I missed it because it was bullshit. Ridiculed, but Frieren didn't resist. This does. Siri finds it hard to believe Frieren's stories. You can defeat the devil. Friday said he was lucky, because there are great teammates. In the past, Frieren asked him, because Xiao at Xiao chose to be in the team of bravery. There are many magicians in the capital. Because Hema once met Frieren. But you probably won't remember. When he was a child, he went into the forest and got lost. In the middle of the night, I met Frieren, who was living in the forest. To make Hema less afraid, Frieren has created a field of flowers. That's when Hema felt the magic. The magic itself, the series is useless. Helped Frieren meet the Hema group. Frieren believes that the series will spray slip. But maybe not. Because the spray has exceeded the expectations of the series. Next is the spray. When I saw the series, I stood still. Siri thought the phone was trembling at her magic. But no. What fans are looking at? It's the vibration of Siri's magic. Something that even the #1 wizard Leren doesn't realize. Therefore, the series offered to accept Dung as a disciple. But you refused. Before entering the exam room, Frieren said that he missed anything he said. Whatever Fern says. So Fern boldly said that. I am a disciple of Frieren. Of course the feces are beaten. Episode 28. Next is the channel name. The series knows the name of the channel makes you feel honored. Ken used to be a military wizard. He's now the most powerful shaman in the 6 realms. Siri regrets the price. Like you met him when you were young. A man full of energy and ambition. And now you're old. Siri asked Dan Ken what he thought when he first met her. Dan Ken thought of the fight with Siri. But give up immediately. This makes the vulture pee. Because the other contestants, I can't even think about fighting Siri. The next wizard is Yubel. Yubio didn't have time to say anything. Siri gave her a pass. Next are the 4 eyes. Siri has 4 eyes. So be serious. Because this is a first-class exam. She realized the true nature of the 4 eyes in her hometown. And sipping a cup of tea. A man as strong as this makes Sao fail. Next is goodwill. As well as channel nails. In the second-class magicians, Siri knows that goodwill is the best fighter. You even realize goodwill didn't even think about it. Fight with me. But not out of fear. And because you are a wise man. Siri asks for magic. The goodwill is... What? He replied that magic can fly at will. Funny beef beans, the last one is dreaming uttered. Siri asked the dream. I saw what I was dreaming about. Dreaming that the series is petite and adorable. That's why she passed the BA exam. Yeah. This is the year a lot of people get promoted to first class. On the contrary, the wizards are defeated. And they're not sad that they can do it again in 3 years. To the channel thank Frieren. Thanks to you, you can visit your home. The next day start, I went to buy cake because I met my 2 grandkids. To the channel. That's why the whole club went up. On inviting a small sweets party. Tell Stark that the old man is sitting in front of you. That's the royal wizard. This surprise chose Stark. Because you've been a little harsh. Even a person of high status. There are no children up there. Your only family. The woman who died 55 years ago. At that time, the series did not have a magic association. You have nothing in your hand. Now you have it all. But his wife is no more. The channel is magical. It is an instrument of war. Thanks Frieren. He remembered the joy of magic. He became a magician. It's admiring the Frieren of the Brave Party. So Black Channel asked Fan to thank her. But Fan said that. You'd better thank yourself. Frieren is strolling in the city. Goodwill is helping an old woman. Between very surprised because Frieren is the comrade of the hero Heimer. Frieren was surprised because it turned out that he is also a good person. The shit told you about the bad stuff that the Gilbio did in exam number 1. The Gilbio corrected me by threatening shit. And with Yubio, that's true. In order to protect the village, goodwill. Ready to do anything. That's why Guybal became a first-rate magician. To be able to learn a super powerful magic. To destroy the demons. but I'm also willing to help. People who need help. Vu Bio is a village on the northern border, where there's anecdotes about him brave. Happy as a child, bees love to hear about his fascinating stories. It's like fighting with the 7 sages or the Dragon King. But people, the village is telling you boring stories, like punishing monsters or protecting villagers. Goodwill was very boring at the time. On the day that the brave him open died, the demons that attacked the village. Then you understand. After all, everything that Goodwill used to enjoy, it's not as important as his village. People are tired enough to protect their lives. If Hima doesn't come to the village of Goodwill, when the world is at peace, it's gone. In short, it's because of his silly stories. That Guybel can only try to this day. Then goodbye, Frieren. To accompany 2 new friends, Wax and Air. Before leaving, Goodwill advised Frieren to cherish the meetings. You seem to be giving a little too much advice. 85 years ago, the Brave Party spent a lot of time to help people in need. With Hima helps small things like this. It doesn't change the world. You can't be left behind. People who need help in front of them. Tonight is the ceremony, granting magical privileges to first-class magicians. At this ceremony, Fern invited Stark, and Frieren came along, but Ciri banned Frieren. 1,000 years without a foot into the Magic Society, because you pissed off the series. Stark is also waiting outside with Frieren. After tonight, the fan will be a famous magician. The peak of the magician. There are less than 50 people in the world. At this very moment, the first-rate magician leisurely went to see Frieren. Sorry for the inconvenience that Ciri caused. I just saw Lernan. Frieren also realized, you can see that you're limiting your power. Lernan is a magician, not suitable for peacetime at all. Ciri once said if Lernan, born in the time of the devil, you could have entered the history books. Among the disciples of Ciri, only Flam is listed. After Lauren Ra and gone, a living proof of the series will also disappear. In the future, Lernan doesn't want the series to be alone. That's why he decided, we'll make the legendary wizard. Frieren disappeared. Just finished. Lernan has performed the Frieren attack magic. Make you hurt. Lernan wants Frieren to fight a rooftop fight with himself. But she refused because of a waste of time. Friday Night Lights is a bad thing. Only know how to fight. Because there's no need to save a list of books. The series will remember you. In the exam number BA, flowering fields in the exam room, all created by the series, makes Frieren wonder. Because this is Flam's favorite magic. Ciri said that Flam was a disciple of her 7 failures. With all that talent, and still can't reach your peak. Ciri also received a lot of other human disciples after Flam. But an AI can reach your heel. However, I do not understand why Ciri always remembers each personality and their favorite magic one by one and tell the truth. Ciri has never regretted taking human disciples. The dresses. No need to register in the history books. Ciri still remembers you. Friday doesn't understand why Ciri is childish. To the point of not telling this story. To my current number 1 disciple. At this time, the privilege ceremony was over. I've only been in Olpiart for a few months. But start getting close to everyone. Shit showing off with Frieren. I asked Ciri to keep my clothes clean. And Ciri doesn't seem to like this. Frieren Kenfen is very good. He's your disciple. And White and Can. I was waiting for Frieren on the way to say thank you. Friday goodbye to two naughty kids. Fans wonder about Sao every time. Friday is so easy. It's like a hero's goodbye. Hima 85 years ago. Hima thinks that if you cry goodbye, it will be embarrassing to see you again. That's why the funeral shaman summary will end here. If any of you see a good VI, support me. At least one like many. I like a registration. Thank you very much.